All right, here we go. How's it going, C. Grover and Dexter? Good morning, or whatever time of day it is for you. Let's see, let's shuffle a couple of these around. Chat's up here, and we got the chat's there. It looks like I got microphone going in. No desktop. It looks good. I think we're set. So quick introduction. Hello to everybody. My name is Tim, and I go by Foamy Guy on the GitHub and Discord. I'll be working on CircuitPython stuff. If you're brand new to this, you can learn more at circuitpython.org. Basically, this is a version of Python that runs on these tiny computers, which come in all different shapes and sizes. And we are writing Python code that runs on these and interacts with other stuff. You can plug in like RGB lights, keyboard keys, displays. Like this one has a built-in display. Some of them are kind of round with alligator clips. Some of them are small with breadboard header. So all different form factors of these things. But the thing that ties them all together is we're writing Python code that runs on these devices. If you're interested in getting involved, I would encourage you to join us on the Discord, which is shown down below, the Adafruit Discord. Adafruit is the company that sponsors the development of CircuitPython. So CircuitPython is a open source project that anybody can contribute to, but Adafruit is a hardware and software company based out of New York, and they are the ones who pay the team that works on CircuitPython full time. So if you purchase hardware from them, you are helping support both them and those of us that they pay, as well as the project itself. So definitely appreciate folks who do purchase hardware there. If you want to buy some toys anyways, then they have got you covered. So jumping in today, what I'm going to work on is actually the stuff we mentioned at the end of the deep dive yesterday, which is this backlight tweak in the core. I think we can probably knock this out pretty quick if I understand it correctly. Basically, we're going to change the backlight PWM speed and then test it on a few different devices and make sure it doesn't cause anything too weird to happen. Make sure we can still control brightness and things like that. And then I think maybe test out playing audio. Was there some concern maybe it would interfere with audio? So we'll try out a couple of different things, make sure we don't see anything too crazy. And then after that, I'll jump into some networking Wi-Fi stuff, like making requests to different servers and maybe start playing with WebSockets a bit. I think got some interesting ideas to play with WebSocket server and then microcontrollers connected up to it. Adafruit IO does MQTT, which I'm not super familiar with, but I think is a similar kind of real-time network connection. MQTT can send those like push events, and they show up really, really quick on the devices that are connected. WebSockets is similar, but I have more experience with WebSockets, so I'm interested in playing with those and setting up some stuff where there's like a web page that can control an external device, a microcontroller, and it can communicate over the WebSocket. Oh yeah, the pasting. Yeah, I think this has come up before. I feel like I recall seeing this on the clue. Yeah. I don't know where we left off here. So this is all from a while ago, pre 6.0. Oh, what are the workarounds? Ah. The other thing is, like, maybe there's just a new TO? I don't know how I installed TO. This is one of my gripes with Linux is, I don't remember how, there's too many ways to install things. I don't remember how I installed anything. Therefore, I don't know where to go to look for updates. Also this actually is a second one of my gripes about Linux is like I search apt for TO and there's 100 things in here or more that are just not at all what I care about and don't, like, this doesn't say TO anywhere in it. Like, I don't even understand why this got returned to me. I don't know. There's a lot of days I like Linux, but there's a lot of days where I'm like, why do things need to be this hard? LMNOTO? TO? Anybody? TO? Yeah. Installed. Looks like there's not a new version, so 132. There is a 137 though, actually. I don't know how this is distributed. What's inside of here? Source. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea how to build it. I don't really want to build it either, right? Like, I just want to install it and use it. I guess, like, that's where I lose a lot of snap install. Is there a snap search? Can you snap? Well, I don't even know. Do I have snap? Search. Can't read this. I have no idea. Is this a help screen or are these things it found? I have no idea what this is. This is just like formatting is so wonky. It's probably because my text is so big. Yo. Let's say 137 here. I don't know. I don't want to break it. Like I use it every day, pretty much every day for CircuitPython. I don't want to just mess with it and break it and then spend time fixing it. So I'll throw that on the stack. Maybe I'll update that at some point if I can figure out how. Maybe that will fix it. Oh, yeah, yeah. In fact, actually, I posted on this one. Buffer overflow. Tiny USB fix. Paste mode. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for the link. This is another one, like I kind of, now that I'm reading back through this, I remember a bunch of this, but it definitely had fallen out of my brain for sure. Thanks. Yeah, I can figure out how to do that with my TO. I mean, I should probably figure out how to update TO as well, because it's possible they just fixed it, right? Or updated it to do it that way, which happens to work better. Do not? Anybody reply to Jeff? No. Bummer. Is it like active or anything? Do they months ago? 3 months ago? Last month? 6 days ago? They're active with changes, but they ignoring the issues. I replied back to this one in February, I guess. But I mean, this is still, well, oh, okay, this was opened in 2020, and they replied in February. So like 2 years later. I mean, we're coming up on 2 years for Jeff's actually, so maybe they'll take it. So somehow I could patch my TO with what Jeff has done here. This would maybe fix it. I assume they probably didn't just fix it in a newer version. If they did, they, it would have been nice of them to mention something here. So I kind of assume they didn't, but how hard was it to build, Neradoc? A lot of like complex stuff you need to set up to build it, or is it pretty straightforward? I assume you built it. It is not super updated. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm still catching up too. You actually said already that you built it. Autogen configure. Oh, actually, you might have already put this even before I said that too. Sorry. Easy to build. Autogen configure make. How's it going, Johnny? Playing with getting live stream notifications in the Home Assistant works like a charm. Google Mini now notifies me of new streams. That's awesome. Yeah, I like ideas that integrate like practical stuff for you into those Home Assistant things. Like, a lot of folks I think get it and then don't necessarily know what is important to them to use it with or use it for. But I like kind of the idea of tailoring it to you, your use case, whatever, whatever's most important to you, whatever is most interesting to you, whatever is most helpful to you. I like it when people kind of take the core technology and run with it and tailor it to their own situation. Same with PySerial PRs. Dan and I posted last year. Feels so much better to dev in a CircuitPython. Yeah, that's definitely true. I had to install Autogen. Oh, the thing that was run up here. I see Autogen. apt-get. I gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I may give it a try with the patched one, or I'm feeling like extra adventurous. I may update to the new one, see if it still does the same thing, and if it does, maybe try patching it to the new one. If I do all of that, I'll probably just submit a PR. I guess it's probably not going to get merged, but like this one just didn't even get replied to. Eventually got stale. Anyway, for now, I will try to remember not to paste stuff in the NRF. I think NRF is like the port where it's worst. I don't feel like I have noticed the same thing on CMD51s or any of the newer stuff like ESP32S2 or RP2040. I don't think I've had the same issue on any of those. Let's see, what are we in here? Firefox or? Actually tell me, I think that's Firefox. We have a third window? Did I just overwrite the camera? Oh, right, I put the camera in a separate one. I'll see. No, I don't think the camera's unhappy for some reason all of a sudden. I thought I had made it a little better with some settings I put in it yesterday. It's in fact, it crashed itself. It's not even running anymore. I don't know what's the deal all of a sudden. I don't think this is gonna work, but I'll set it up one more time. The light seems okay, but it feels like after I focus it, okay, right for now. See how long it lasts. Okay, so we're gonna start in the core with Titano build. Let me put this back. Created a status display out of an LED strip. Tells you with red color if the plant needs to be watered. Nice. Vacuum robot needs emptying is all. It stops working otherwise. Yeah, I was eyeballing those little like vacuum robots. We don't have, I'm not sure if we have enough carpet. It'd be nice to have it in kind of like one major room we have carpet in, or I guess two. Although I don't think the cat would like it to run upstairs. Still there? Okay, we're still there. Look at that. All right. Well, we'll see. So into the core we go. Let's get back to main. Let's see while we update that. There's an issue with built-in USB to UART on the ESP32C3 where it's missing bytes, but it's different port, not tiny USB. Oh, I gotcha. Is ESP32C3, is that different than S3? Or is it like a variation? I haven't kept up too much with the ones after the S2. I think I may have ordered one of the S3s, but I don't think I've done anything with it yet. Maybe it was a C3 and I just misremember too. Let's see, why do we cancel? I cancel. 12 conflicts. Conflicts. I'm gonna try make touch submodule because we did set the circuit playground to its own like its own branch last night. Maybe that's the differences it's talking about. I don't know. If it's not letting me pull, honestly, I think I already even have another clone of the core repo. I may just start. Oh right, this thing is still broken. Was there a requested from Scott? Well, I'm not Scott, but I'll see if this works and leave a note. 6414. Oops. I'm not quite used to using C-line instead of PyCharm. GHPR checkout 414. Try this again. C3 is a smaller one, basically ESP8266 replacement. No native USB. I see, only USB to JTAG. But it's also got Bluetooth, and it's their first RISC-V chip. Interesting. Okay. So it's like probably meant to be cheaper. The 8266 was like real cheap. What? We still get the same thing actually. SDK. Shouldn't this have Well, I don't know how to apply it, I guess. I don't need to pull after I do that. That's no tracked branch. I have no idea. Delete the 130 tag. How would I do that? Delete it in the submodule? Well, I don't really know where it's at in the project. We could find it though, right? Rep. Oh, is it in the root? Wait. No. This is, it says it in the license file. Yeah. Deleting the tag. Is that you can delete the tag like locally in your own like locally cloned port, or not port but fork, I guess, really. I don't know where it's at though. Ports. I guess that's where this. Well, probably in one of those lines. Tag D. Interesting. I thought tags. I didn't realize tags were locally stored like that. I thought tags were just like names of releases that exist in the remote repositories, but not the local ones. I have a lot to learn about Git. Oh. Would we have to like do that in here and push it or something? Is that a change that like we would need to do along with this, whatever the change here is? I wish it would like show just a summary of like version something to something. I don't. Or is that, I guess maybe that's what Dan did? Dan ran this and then make fetch submodule and then push the results? And that's where this PR came from? I don't know. Seems like I ended up still on 130. That's normal? I don't know. Okay, I probably won't leave feedback on that one because I don't actually know what I'm looking at there. Yeah. It seemed like they deleted a tag or something and that caused it to get all wonky, but yeah, I don't quite follow what they did all the way for sure, and then also I don't necessarily get what Dan did here to fix it or proposed the fix. Not sure what steps would be like expected for you to have to do after you pull that branch, because we did pull that branch and it still had it, but maybe if we didn't, like maybe if we hadn't updated it before, it would be in a state that's not messed up. Let me see what this is. Or, oh, this is just the one from a minute ago. I don't know why it don't know why it didn't make red on this one. They moved 130 in the original repo, causing the issue. You get amend, try to push. Gotcha. Okay, yeah, I don't think I understand enough to really leave feedback on this, so we'll have to wait for Scott there. I did get able to build. I wonder though, if I go back to main, is it gonna... Am I just like fixed for good now, or probably not, right? Oh, they're good now. Let's show any tag number in here now. Huh. There you go, from main. No track it. All right. And then this is in display C inside shared module. We're gonna go to this. Play stuff. And we're talking about 119-ish. Maybe changed a little bit since then, but maybe not. We'll see. Yeah. 119 still, okay. So Seagrover, you said that you tried 500, I think, right? Do we... 500 better than 1000? Does it... So, yeah, I'll read through this again. If I recall right, you said... 1 kilohertz was what it listed in the, what you call it? Docs? Datasheet? Yeah. Less than 1 kilohertz. Okay. Right. 500. I probably have a terminal. We can go here. We can clear because we shouldn't be on that branch. Yeah, there we go. Boards. Our portal Titano. The issue is CircuitPython pointing to a commit that no longer has the tag, while also pointing to the tag which causes the conflict. The solution is to point to 131, which is in PR now. The weird thing is, like, I pulled that PR and then I ran make fetch submodule and it still gave me the same error. That's the part, I think, or one of the parts of the puzzle I'm missing is, like, I don't see... my understanding of it was if I would pull that PR, then it would not have that problem for me anymore. But it still did, but it must be like it saves the state somehow from before, and then like deleting it like you showed me how to do must be necessary. Or maybe like if I had gotten a super fresh, like if I just started with a brand new fork, or clone rather, and then went to that branch, maybe before I did anything, maybe then it would work. Jeez, a lot of space free on this one. All right, so Titano, let's see, we need the USB-C. Camera's gonna be going? It is actually, right? If I recall, the Titano had the brightness issue. One of the examples appeared to fail because the brightness. Yeah, I do remember that. It was something I don't. What I don't remember is which example it was. But I do remember it seemed like it wasn't working, but it turned out the black backlight on 0.1 or something like that, I think, was just making it not visible. What would be the easiest thing to test? You know, wish I had that Hello World. Guess I could grab it from one of the display drivers. Or is that in the Learn Guide? Is there a Learn Guide with that green and purple Hello World? Under, like, oops, internal display maybe? No. Gonna draw some pixels. In here, though, I think there is one. Okay. Not gonna paste into that this time. Oh. Yes, Shrek is out there, which is extra exciting for today because actually my JP's product pick of the week order is supposed to come today, I think. Grabbed a couple of those cutie pies. That's actually them. Maybe I'll grab them and we'll use that for the network stuff. Anything else? Terminal IO label? I don't think they came here. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Oh yeah. I put this in a separate window today. We'll see if I remember. So there's our hello world. So then we can change the brightness. I guess we probably should have started with stock. But we're here now, so. Yeah. It's working now. 0.01, or 0.1 rather. And we'll go, let's see, for I in range, 11? That give me 0 to 10? Yeah. Maybe let's let this print first and then... But why are we on two space indentions? Huh. I don't like that. I mean, I would not have changed that. I'm size 4. That's annoying. Yeah. Yeah. Looks pretty good. The 0 was off, and we couldn't see it there, which does make sense. You know, we could also set... brightness range should improve from the original, which was 50K, 50,000 hertz, which worked 0.4 to 1. So now we can go actually all the way to 0.01. If I divide by 100, it's just going to be very, very dim. Second test is to turn on the speaker and listen, hoping that the 500 hertz PWM doesn't leak through to the audio. That 2 indentation, that's going to really bother me eventually. I don't know. It says 4. Okay. So if you say so, PyCharm. I think I'm gonna get the new PyCharm pretty soon. I haven't updated it in a few years. But we're gonna be having a new person start up working with me. They are probably gonna be on the newest one, and so it's gonna be a lot easier if I am on the same version as them. While I get them spun up on how to use our project. Oh yeah, that's way darker. Nice. I guess this is before. Yeah, that's like noticeably different. 1% and 10%. Um, so let's go back to stock for a second and make sure that we actually understand correctly and that this doesn't work right on stock. No, I don't really want to open it, actually. I just want to go to it. Open in that anyway. Bootloader. Yep, can't see anything. If we go back to this for loop one, what we'll see is that we see like 4 through 1, 0.4 through 1.0, or maybe 0.5. I don't know if it includes 4 or not. Should have put the prints in too. 0.5 is the first one we see. Yeah, and it's like gone too. It's like, it's not even like it's just real dim or something. It's like you cannot see anything. I don't see any hint, any even trace of color. So yeah, that definitely does work a lot better. So let's try out the audio, like you said. Let's do that on this device. So there's a speaker on this. It's the easiest audio to play. I think this SD card maybe has my Winamp stuff. Maybe Winamp is probably on here. Looks a little frozen to me. Of a playlist? Ah. That probably doesn't help. Yeah. Do I have a playlist on this one? The thing is, like, it's difficult to see the files on the SD card. I don't really want to, like, find the files on the SD card and build a new playlist from it. If we get to that, I'll probably just find a different sound example. Okay. Doesn't I don't actually have those songs. Alright, well let me try, I saw there was a baby metal one, let's try this one. If that doesn't work, then I'll probably just find a different thing for now. No. Okay. I don't think I have, that must not be on the SD card or something. And I don't really want to bother loading them up right now, so we're gonna just go back to here. We'll just find another quick sound test, maybe more of a fully, I don't want like just play an MP3 and nothing else. I still don't, this requires the same thing though, right? I'm gonna have to put it on the SD card probably. I could put it from the internal storage. Listen without any audio. I don't know the code to enable the speaker. This count as enabling the speaker right here? I mean, we'll change the pin to be the speaker pin, but I don't have a button. I'll take this stuff because I'm going to play a tone eventually, but I will start without doing the tone. It's not going to know where to find that. Oh, its own thing? I thought that was going to be ULab. Math. Code block. Oh. Sorry, I don't know. If that was there before, I totally did skip over it. My bad. I'll keep this stuff because I do want to try this as well. Hey, whoa. So this is still the stock, this is still the stock image right now. Oh. Here, let me pause my actual music. Yeah, I don't hear anything right now. Is there any possibility it would need to be false instead? Are some of them backwards? I didn't mess with enable in this. I'm surprised actually. Well, hold on. Let's do this. Time is not defined. Oh, why? I'm running. I don't hear anything. It's weird because sometimes like it does do that like popping. It does make like a popping or have like a static, like a white noise type low level background noise in the speakers. But yeah, I don't hear anything. Not even when it changes from on to off or anything. And then we do have the brightness at 50. And then we go down to 4, of course we don't see anything. And I don't know that it matters, but I also still don't hear anything. So let's go with our build from here. Measure any signal leakage. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about the audio or the signal stuff to really know what I'm looking at on the graph, truthfully. We're on the yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna get used to the thing being like this. Oh yeah, we're back to landscape because we didn't run Titano this time, or Winamp this time, and we see the screen now even though we were on 0.4. Okay, I do hear it if I put it like all the way up on my ear. I don't even know actually if I did get it that close. I'm gonna switch back again. You know, the thing too is it's steady the whole time. It's not on and off. Shouldn't it be on and off? Well, I guess interference, but I mean if it's interference and it's going into the speaker and this pin gates the speaker from being energized or not, then it would be, I thought. Make sure this is actually going back and forth. Yeah. Huh, interesting. Okay. Go back to this one. Frequency would be approximately 1 octave above middle C on the piano. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell that specific. I played trumpet for a while in school. And I would say there was a time where I could maybe tell you a trumpet note where it was at, but I was never like just generally good at I don't know what they call that, I guess, but being able to tell the note of a sound. I don't know. I never did really get good at being able to tell that. Okay. Yeah, there is definitely no sound with it this way, and there definitely is sound with it with this one. But I mean, it is like I have to get it like right up in my ear to be able to hear it. Like I basically have to put the portion of the board that has the speaker directly next to and aligned with my ear. Even if I move it to like a different area of the board, but keep it as close, I still don't even hear it. You know what it reminds me of is like a hearing test sound. It's like such a faint like ringing almost. Yeah, we can cycle the brightness as well. I deleted, oh no, it's oh right. Okay, I don't think I did that right. Not getting dim. Right. Probably not going to get used to it in the separate one. Still no. Okay. I want it to print. It's definitely going. Okay, so so 1.0 and 0.0, no sound at all. All of the decimals in between, there's a little bit of sound. Same sound I was hearing. Roughly speaking, the upper half of the range, like 6, 7, 8, 9, are a tad quieter than 1 through 5. But again, 1.0 and 0.0 both are no sound at all. And let's just verify with it not changing. Yeah, 1.0, no sound at all, which is good. I think 1.0 is like, I assume the default and probably what 90+% of people are going to be using, so. Zero as well, no sound. I don't have an add-on. I have just the onboard. I have an add-on here, but I don't think. I think you have to cut the. I think there's a trace you're supposed to cut. Which I've done on my pipe portal standard, but not the Titano. So let's play an actual sound. I'm going to take out the comments since I keep changing this. I don't want to confuse myself later. Probably on speaker. It's also A0 though. So it is. I plugged in the other speaker, and I think that means it's actually going to be playing out of both right now. So that's actually got a bit of white noise just by itself with the external speaker now connected. Those actually turn off when that's off though. But I think that that's the case. I think that that's going to be the case even on the stock build. Honestly, this coming through this speaker, it sounds more like white noise and less like particular tone. Back to stock again. Yeah. I feel like I hear pretty much the same white noise out of it here. That was back to stock. I don't know. I mean, there's like, you know, it's noticeable if you put it like way up on your ear, but I don't know. It's maybe a little louder. Does this come through? I don't know if this will actually come through. I don't know if the quiet ones actually come through or not. But that's with the modified one. Ending up without a downloads open. Hertz. Yeah, I don't. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll know the difference of what's what, though, truthfully. So this is back to the stock one. Which definitely does have some noise in between as well, and it sounds the same to me. I don't really hear a difference. It's going from one to the other right here. It sounds basically the same. The white noise sounds like 500 hertz. Yeah, I do think, like, before I started doing the sound, like before I started doing audio out, and I just had enable true, I could hear a faint thing that was definitely not there in the current build. So like there is a bit of bleed through, but in my mind, I think it's like you have to really be listening for it. Like you have to put it way up on your ear. Did I try the big speaker without the sound? Okay. Yeah, I mean there's the tone there. You can hear the tone, but it's like it's not even loud enough actually to get through the noise gate. I don't know. It's really faint. You have to really be listening for it, even with the external speaker. Well, and actually this is with both, right? Because I didn't cut the trace, so with both playing, the external and the onboard, about right there is where I can start hearing it. I don't know, that's probably not even in frame, is it? No. Well, yeah, a little bit. I have much more room on my USB here. Basically about right there. If I line up the speaker with my ear, I can start hearing it. And that's like, I don't know, 3-4 inches. 1.5 kilohertz. Is it worth trying 1,000? Worth trying 1,000 in here instead of 500? Can't hurt anything, right? Probably. Explode the speaker somehow. I think, though, like, if it were my call, I would say the sound that it does make is not problematic enough to make it not worth the change. I feel like the improved functionality of the rest of the brightness scale definitely outweighs the tiny amount of tone sound that does exist in my mind. Yeah, I do definitely still hear it on the 1000 here. It's weird that 1.0 doesn't let it come through like at all, really. I know this is above the spec the datasheet said. I don't know. It sounds like the same tone to me, but again, I think I'm like, I don't really differentiate tones very well. And like if there's two playing at once and one will turn on and off, or like if I can go back and forth between them directly, like one after the other, then like I can tell a difference. But even then, like I may not be able to tell you which is higher or lower. I don't know. I think my ability to tell the different tones apart is not up to par on that. We get the actual brightness. Yeah. I don't know again if this, I think the noise gate maybe filters it out. I don't know if it came through or not, but that's what we got now. I would say it's like maybe slightly fainter now. We're on the 10,000 one. It's slightly fainter. The brightness does still seem to work normally. Even though it is up and out of the range, it still does work better than the current stock. Probably half of what the current setting was. Oh, did I load this? I didn't load this, otherwise CPU would be the last command, actually. So then that was probably the 1000, actually, not the 10,000. This one would be the 10,000. You do get the brightness. Ooh, that's rough. That tone, I think, is actually worse. Like, louder and more annoying. You still have to be kind of right up on it to hear it. But I do think that's actually... It hurts a bit. That's a bit ear-piercing on 10,000. Relative frequencies, yeah. Yeah, that's what I was noticing is 0 and 1 definitely seem to be... On everything we've tested so far, 0 and 1 are silent. I don't hear anything for those. And then the in-betweens are where you hear it. Oh, I don't have this. Okay, I don't know if we just cut in late, but it looked like we were missing the first couple, actually. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't turn on, actually, until 3 now. So this, I think we have hit the too fast to actually still fix the brightness. Maybe 2? Actually, 2 or 3 where it's turning on. 3. Weird, this one's like a... It's like it plays a tone when it changes. Almost like a wave sound, like a shoo. This one feels like if you were to set it to A brightness and leave it, it would kind of taper off a bit. But it does not fix the brightness, so with it. Basically like deciding is 500 or 1000 better, i.e. less sound. 10,000 would be annoying. Yeah, 10,000 was pretty bad. Even for my ears, they're not necessarily super young at this point. Dogs around. Cat's hearing ranges are. I wonder if there's a way to change this only for the Titano, or if it can't because it's in shared module. Would we like make a separate one for Titano separately, or could it be configurable somehow and the Titano does its setup differently? I don't think I installed this. Let's go to bootloader. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think it's not. It's noticeable. I can definitely hear it. We'll go back to 500 as well. Actually, let me jump right to 500. Actually, let me get a sense of this real quick. Build the 500. Let me listen to this while it's building, and then it'll be fresh. I can try to compare better. Ow. Gives you Featherwing. It's interesting with the brightness changing. It changes the sound just a bit. Like the different numbers have ever so slightly different tones. Yeah. Bootloader. Okay. I think 500 is quieter. Yeah. You almost even have to be like probably another inch or two closer before I can really start hearing it with 500. Um, I think 500 probably the better of those two. And then the other thing is though, like if you're actually playing sound, just to mix that in as well one of these times. You're actually playing sound. Like that's probably not coming through. Yeah, it's definitely not coming through the microphone, but like I can hear that from here. I can hear the actual tone we're playing, which is down here now in the camera, probably 3 feet, 2.5 feet or so away from my head. And so like I wouldn't be having it up in my ear just to hear the actual tone. This is with the external speaker still. But I don't hear the in-betweens at all from here. And I think that's reasonable, like, I don't know, it's there, but it's so faint, you kind of have to be, like, trying to hear it. So unplug the external speaker. I can still, very, very faintly, I can still hear the actual tone coming from the small speaker. It's obviously much more faint now, but then of course, I still hear nothing in the downtimes. And I think that's perfectly reasonable. Like, if it's making a sound that's detectable, but, not from, like, the desk in front of you to your face, I think the trade-off of the brightness is well worth it. So we'll make a PR and we'll see what other folks say. I guess one other thing I can test while we're here is I have a Feather TFT. So we'll build this for the Feather TFT and install it on there and see if it doesn't have the built-in speaker or anything, but we can make sure it doesn't cause any weirdness with the brightness. Let's do that, and then I'll make the PR. Then we'll move on. This is probably still stock, whatever. I don't know what comes on these stock. Arduino test code. They have never remembered. Is this one you need ESP tool for, or doesn't look like it connected to drive? Yeah. Is there any chance if I double tap it instead that it will go to the UF2 bootloader? Ah, okay. Yeah. It's not going to want to stick straight up, but there for now. Interesting. It's kind of weird. I think there are some where the boot button gets you to this thing, aren't there? Somewhere that's the case. I can. Yeah, not well. I can kind of. My PyPortal does have the external speaker cut. Is this the export thing? I need to run that export thing. All right. this thing. Not executable. That's weird. I mean, I used this before. We should edit this. I think it's going to succeed. I need to do install too? And I know for a fact I've done this before. Maybe it got updated or something. It does print here, which is nice. Got updated or something. Didn't have the latest one, or have it in this project or something. I don't know. Get through. Yeah, I mean, I probably am not going to test them all today, certainly. But I'll leave my comment with the ones I did test, and definitely other people are encouraged, I would say, to test them. What I can do is, well, you would still have to build CircuitPython, I guess. I would say if anybody is like willing to test devices, I'm willing to make builds for you. So if anybody has a PyBadge, PyGamer, or Clue and wants to help test this out, I will make the builds. But I'm probably not going to dig out all of those today and test them, certainly. I do have all of them, so I could eventually do it. But I think today I'm just going to leave I'll do this one, check the brightness, I'll do the PyPortal regular on the external speaker real quick, and then I'll leave a comment on or actually I'll make a PR with it, and then I'll leave a comment there with my testing. And I am totally willing to do builds, but I won't get to all of them today. I should have done J4. I didn't do J4 here. Now the question is it faster to cancel and start back over with J4, or faster to just let it go? Of all the boards on hand. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely make builds for you. PyBadge, PyGamer, Clue. Is it like mega bad to try to do a second build at the same time? I think when I make the PR, the actions will build them all too. Take a while, but all right, we got our feather build. Yeah. Well, and I didn't do the J4. What time did it? It said 2 minutes. 2:30, pretty much. I wonder if I had done J4, it probably would go quicker. I did notice that one day. I could like cut them in half roughly. Pretty noticeable. Okay, so we got this running now. I think there's no code probably though. Yeah. Be nice if I could actually copy the brightness test. I guess I'll unplug and replug. I don't have a second USB-C cable here right now. We don't have an onboard speaker, so on the Feather TFT we can't do that one. I mean, we can do it, but it's not. It shouldn't. I mean, it shouldn't make any sound, right? Because we don't have a speaker. We can do the brightness portion. Or did I not save it off? Brightness test? Titano brightness test. That up here, so it's on my PC. There. Probably shapes also, maybe? Does that just use bitmaps? I'm not sure. No, just use bitmaps. Okay. I shouldn't need anything else. Uh-oh. Huh. I don't know. What does that mean? 8 MPY? Hmm. It's... Oh. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do on the Featherwing is the brightness for sure. Um, boy, I really rely on CircuitPython. I could have copied this from somewhere by now, but hit this thing, right? But is it gonna, it's not gonna, is it gonna work from here too, or no? Okay, yeah, now it works. I think the scale messes this up actually. Since the scale is on the parent group. Yeah. Good news is though, you can actually just scale the label. And I'm pretty sure it handles it correctly. Yeah. That seems alright on here. The test on the featherwing yeah, right, I got that one. Let's see. I tested it on the larger TFT wing. Oh wait, no, the test on the feather wing would be for brightness. So I have the feather TFT, but not the wing. I mean, I think I have a display wing as well somewhere, but what I have out now. Tested on the larger TFT wing, then ran around holding it close to audio devices. Yeah. It is not going to be different. We'll do that in 9. Circuit needs an update to know about 8. Okay, so this, I mean, this does seem fine on this device. I don't see any issue here. We do have all 10 brightnesses seem to be working. In fact, we actually do have the 1% as well at the very beginning there, although only at the beginning, not during the loop. Could put it once, I guess, like right here maybe. There's the 1% off, 10%, and then yeah, now it will. Kind of weird that it's gonna do like 1% and then off and then 10%, but the way the loop works right now. So, yeah, there's our 1%. It's so faint in there, but you can see it, so that works fine as well. So I don't see any issue with that. Let's see, did our PyGamer build finish? It did. As well, let's go ahead and open up the directory. Files? I'm blind? Oh no, what? What? It's folded. Oh, I don't like that. that should be the PyGamer build. Dropped in the chat there. Let's make the PyBadger. Whoop. Valid board. PyBadge? PyBadge. 4. Back here and build a well, should I not build 2 builds in the same ports, or is it okay to do that? Try it. I don't know if any of them like use the same files, if it's gonna trample on top of one or something. Temporary files. I mean, they put their own build directory, so hope it's not referencing anything outside that it needs. That is gonna change at least. I'm also gonna turn some music back on here. Somebody weed whacking or something outside too. Kind of a power tool going on out there. I don't know, maybe running 2 makes it slower. Guess we'll see when it finishes how long it says. It feels longer though now than some of the quicker build. I did do a clean though, I guess, which also does take longer. Actually finished this one 1 minute 30. Okay, I guess that's not for a clean. That's actually probably pretty good. Okay, there's PyBadge. Portal, so I'll plug in the PyPortal. I'll put the speaker because this one I did cut the trace, so this one doesn't play out of the built-in. It was like the one that I did the sticky on the back of this, which I didn't realize actually. Maybe it got peeled at some point. Upside down. Oh. Sorry, I can't. This thing is so small, it's difficult for me to get my hands on. I don't think I could do it very quickly or easily all the way out there on where the camera's at, so. Do you want the PyPortal and or the PyPortal Titano builds as well, C. Grover? Could check brightness first. I didn't copy the, let me get the, these are actually different plugs though, so I can copy from one to the other. I do want this version that we did on the Feather because it's more agnostic. It has the display size stuff in it. So that it will work on any size. Oh, good. This back in here. It's portrait because we ran the app that was running was setting it to portrait and it doesn't reset itself, so got for now. Yeah, okay. I will say the top half of the scale on this one, well, no, okay. I'm gonna say I didn't see much difference in them last time around, but this time I did. You can definitely see it getting brighter with each increment there. And pint. Portal. I named all three of these different. I had display brightness before, and then this time I did brightness display. And I also left firmware in for one of them. I can make a funhouse build. Let's see, PyPortal pint we didn't do. Let's do pint. Is it a... Actually, I don't know how to build the pint, because it's not listed. I think it's the same build as the PyPortal regular, but I don't know what the mechanism is that like makes it have a different thing on the CircuitPython.org page. Yeah, if anybody knows, let me know, and I'll try to build the pint if there is a different one. But I think you probably just use the PyPortal one. Nice. No noticeable bleed through on the Pi badge. There's PyPortal and Titano. We got all three of the... Well, I think the regular PyPortal is for pint, so if that's correct, then I think that covers all the PyPortals. I got you the Pi badge, I got you the Pi gamer. Clue. A clue build. Clue? No. They're on, like anyway. Do a funhouse build too. What is funhouse's ESP? Adafruit funhouse or yeah. Uh there we go. Nope. Just kidding. Why though? That is very chatty. Did it print all that last time? It probably did. We'll check in on it in a minute. See if it. What we get. Paint is missing the temperature sensor. I think it just uses the same build though, because I think the temperature sensor it doesn't initialize it in the core build at all. And then I guess probably the PyPortal library does handle if it tries to hook it up and it's not there. Like if on the software side, if it tries to hook it up and then it's not connected physically, so my guess is the library handles that. I don't know. I'm actually a little curious. I'm gonna take a very, very, very brief rabbit hole entertaining here, and we're gonna look in CircuitPython.org and see if we can tell how it lists it as a separate thing. This is the kind of thing where it's like I don't know off the top of my head. I'm sure there must be some mechanism in here that allows for that, but I have no idea what it is. It's kind of like it'll be interesting to learn. I mean the markdown files I don't think be where it comes from. Maybe though. These are PyPortal either. Or no Adafruit maybe? Layout download. I don't know. I guess there must be a different build though, because it has a different boot out with its own ID in it. Right? Did I just miss it in the list? Okay, so we got, this was clue, is that right? Yeah. There's clue. Funhouse is done as well. Funhouse. Made it before? I don't own a pint, so it is one of the ones I am less likely to have built before. Does anybody, Seagrover, do you have a pint? If you look in boot out on the pint, does it say its board ID is PyPortal_pint? It's not going to work if I just run it anyway, right? Oop. No. Pint's identical. It's an alias, but does it have a board ID? I guess like what I was looking for is how does that alias, how does it work? Like what mechanism does it use to just show up separately on CircuitPython.org but not actually have a build? These don't look any different to me. I mean, they have different names. You know, there's a couple changes up here, but not see anything that would be about where it actually gets its download from. Data files. Uh, I don't actually know. I don't know where it comes from. Bindings matrix? Alias by board. Where is this though? This is in core. Shared bindings. Matrix by. Okay. Huh. These brand names. Then this probably changes it. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know this binding support matrix. Shared bindings matrix rather. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I've looked in this file before. It's used by tools build board info. That depends on the matrix, and the matrix needed it's there. I gotcha. Makes sense. Ah, okay. So the pint, yeah, the pint doesn't. Okay. Okay, I think we've come full circle now. So it does. I was assuming that it had its own board ID based on that what we saw in the markdown file here, but it actually doesn't have its own board ID. So then it does make total sense that I think you should just use that PyPortal, the one that I put further up. This one on the pint. Yeah, that's interesting. I never knew that it didn't have its own board ID. One of these days I'll pick up a pint, but I don't have one yet. Build board info creates the PR. I gotcha. Okay. Okay, so I think I hit the whole list. Funhouse Clue, Titano, regular, PyBadge, PyGamer. Let me know if I did miss anything or if there's any others that would be helpful to test. I think I got all the ones that were mentioned. And I will run this test on the PyPortal regular, which the brightness seems to work fine. So we'll put the audio in as well. Which I will have to probably just plug in the Titano for. Okay. Yeah, external speaker. I do hear that from here when it plays, the tone, the tone we're trying to play. I don't hear anything in the downtimes. Brightness is working here as well. It's tougher to tell the brightness is working when we're on the terminal and it's barely printing anything, but I do see it changing there. And I hear my tone like normal. Yeah, you know, I don't in between the tones, I actually hear more of a white noise than a tone like we were on the Titano. Let's try it with just enable and no sounds. Oh, I don't know. Got to figure out how to do the camera so that I actually instinctually click back to the right thing. Yeah, that's very quiet. If I and this is on the big speaker again as well, so this one doesn't even have the small speaker. I did cut the jumper. You know, it sounds like a buzz on this one, and I have to be like even more right up on it, and right up on it with the big speaker to even hear anything. I do hear a bit of a buzz, but that is it. And actually, did I install this? Now I'm second guessing. I don't know if I did or not. We're gonna go bootloader. That might have been stock, honestly. I'm not actually sure. Oh, so many things. Just want my tab completion. Oh, I renamed it. Okay, so now we have the modified build. Brightness is looking like it works the same, which makes sense because this one didn't have the same limitation. Well, and we have the fixed version anyway, even if it did have the same limitation. Yeah. I hear the same buzz. And still silent on 1.0. One thing I am curious is, do we hear the same buzz on stock? I kind of think we do. I remember back when I was doing the Winamp, you know, there definitely was a bit of extra noise coming from the speaker. You know, again, if you're not right up on it, you don't really hear it, but if you do, if you're in a quiet room or you do put it right up on your ear, you can, even back then, you could hear it. And of course, this is long before we ever did any of these changes, so. Titano PWM frequency is definitely there. It's not contributing significantly to overall noise. Solid portion of the top waveform is the PWM signal. The hair is a normal digital noise of the background. Oh, okay. That solid part is our actual brightness and kind of waggling to make the brightness do its thing. And the rest of it there is noise. What's the, like, is that a software only thing, or is that like a hardware thing? Like, is that from a scope, or what gives you that output? You know what's funny is I hear a more distinct beep when I assume this is when it's changing. Yeah. When it changes, I hear a very faint beep. I do still kind of hear the buzzing, but I don't hear that same beep on the newer version, actually. And this one was stock 730 release candidate 1. So no, definitely no worse on the new one. I think it's a little better, honestly, because you don't hear that extra tone, but it's so faint, like it's splitting hairs at that point, truthfully. All right, did I ever end up I ended up doing pre-commit install. Because the thing is, I have all these other changes still. I think they mentioned making a PR for that as well. Maybe I'll do that today too. I don't know, now I also have this stuff though. I don't know why those are different. Or they're not actually different, I guess. I don't know why it's blue if they're not different. These ones are. Really, this is the main change that I actually want to push though. Okay. And then I would say I'll make a PR for this, and then if you will put your testing, any of your outcomes for testing, you can put them on the PR. What? No, what? I like this thing. I know I can do it from that other page, but this is so much easier. Oh, I have no idea what number. 623. Six two three six. Is that what I did? That's 62. Still didn't get me there. Super. Okay. Really appreciate your efforts. Yeah, for sure. Thank you. I appreciate you making the issue and doing like testing on some of the other devices. I'm pretty much always going to be happy to make builds for folks. So like if there's ever any stuff like this that pops up that like you have the devices and you have the ability to test but just can't get the build, feel free to reach out. Like I'm pretty much always going to be happy to make a build to let somebody test something. Nice to have that larger brightness range. Yeah, I agree. Trying to photograph. Yeah, that's definitely true. The brightness, yeah, I've found that as well with my overhead. Which is basically just a phone camera is what this is, and I have an app that sends it back to on the network so I can just access it in the browser. I have found that as well though. Setting the brightness down here makes this a lot easier to photograph sometimes. Like it comes through a lot better on here without being washed out as much. So I definitely do think it's gonna be nice. For future developments in latest, you could change the platform line in Circup to make it work until CP8 is settled. I gotcha. I think that might be, from the sounds of it, that might be like the actual fix. Not even really, I think it might stay after it gets settled, because if I understood, well here, let me keep this one, I guess. That one, let's open this. Because if I understood Dan, oh, okay, I see you talked to Dan a lot further after I did. Yeah, okay. So we will have 8x bundles, but it will just be the same code, basically. Same MPY files. Okay. I would be in favor of making that change sooner in Circup, so that if you build against main, you can still use Circup, because I have definitely become a little dependent on Circup. It is so convenient to be able to install from the command line. Dan was saying that we'll make a bundle. So yeah, I see. When we do make the bundle, it will change to 8x, even though it's the same MPY files. And then currently we could use the 7x with the 8 MPY key and get it to work. I'd be in favor of that first one. Use the 8 MPY and the 7x in the interim. But that's because I am definitely reliant on Circup, and I do build from main a fair amount, or branches that started from main. Okay, I'll drop this here. Yeah, I can do it. I can try to do it locally. I'll have to figure out how to install my local one again. I guess I could probably install it with pip install dot base dot. Probably work. I may wrap it up here. I may not get into network stuff. I'm happy we got through all of this. And I think I may save the network stuff for a different time. Part of what I want to do also with the network stuff is going to be not like directly CircuitPython. Like I'm going to make a Django project, Python Django, CPython. I'm going to make a Django, it's like a server framework, web server framework, or web application framework, really. And it's something I use very, very heavily at work, basically. And so I'll probably make a Django project that has a WebSocket component with it, and then my goal will be to connect microcontrollers to the WebSocket. So like a big portion of that is going to be like CPython Django stuff, not directly CircuitPython. I'll have to get that server up and running, and then we'll get back into CircuitPython land. So I may still do that on stream, but yeah, it will be different than the normal stuff, right? Because we won't be doing too much with CircuitPython during that. Pip install E, okay. Yeah, I definitely will. Yeah, thanks. Thank you. I will happily, I'll reach out when I do get into it. The other thing I took a look at last night, which I still probably will test at some point, but I think not right now, is this, unless somebody beats me to it, but this one here. I feel like I'm probably well situated to test this because I think I have Node.js already installed. I'm not super familiar with it, so it'll take me a minute to figure out how to run this, but I think I already have Node, so I should be able to run it. And then I also am familiar with Flask, so I should be able to run this one as well. So I think that I can do all the testing here. And Scott had asked about native, which I think is just ESP32S2. We could test it on the Feather TFT that I pulled out today. Let me put it in the bundle. Yeah. Yeah, I think WebSockets are cool. It seems like MQTT kind of has taken the reign of real-time web communication stuff. Like Adafruit.io uses it a lot more. But WebSockets, I'm actually personally a lot more familiar with than MQTT because WebSockets are a huge component in the thing I work on for work. I work on testing the boards. So far, it looks like the new frequency does bleed through on the Titano, but it's only slightly noticeable when nothing is playing. Yeah, I don't think so either. My vote is definitely the brightness. The increased functionality for the brightness is well worth the tiny amount of extra sound. That's my opinion. I will, Neradoc, while you're here too, also, the other thing if you saw last night, you probably saw, the other thing we looked at last night was the Circuit Playground stuff. I think what I'll do, I noticed the other day you asked about it, and I don't know exactly what the state of it is, but I think what I'll do is drop a note in the weeds for this week. Next week, I guess. 56, you got slightly different. Oh, I see. Somehow, okay, so the rest of my change maybe was something else. The rest of my difference. This is that maybe CircuitPython PR has not been merged to latest. So I would need to basically merge main back to this branch and then try again. Is that right? Anyway, though, the point of that really was that I will put I'm definitely interested in getting this in as well, so I'll drop a note in the weeds this week, and we can kind of see from Dan and Scott and Katney as well, because she'll be interested in the library change. If anybody has any reason that we don't want to do it, I don't really see any reason not to go ahead and do it. It seems like backwards compatible and stuff, so as far as I was noticing, there isn't really any change to any existing projects or anything, so I would think it's like shouldn't really need to wait for much, but yeah, I'm with you. I think so as well. I don't want to do it without like talking to them more generally, especially because the playground library is so highly featured or whatever. It's like kind of one of the main device libraries. But yeah, I'll drop a note in the weeds, and I'll link both of those too, and then we'll talk in the meeting and see if anybody has any reason not to merge the library one now, and if not, then we'll do that. And then after that one's done, I think we're ready to move on this one too, personally at least. So we'll see what the rest of the team says. Use it with WebSockets to make yourself a little dingus that lights up an LED when recording. Oh, that would be nice. I would like that. I do sometimes. I tried to record a meeting the other day with OBS, and then I accidentally left it running after the meeting, and then I promptly started like doing stuff with tokens and passwords and stuff, and then I was like, oh, just put my password in the recording, and I had to go cut it out and stuff. And a little warning light would be super nice. You know, the other thing that would be fun with WebSockets and OBS is like Twitch bot type stuff. Like maybe we can have the microcontroller interact with OBS and show stuff on the stream, or vice versa. Maybe like, I don't know, if people on the stream could chatbot commands and then they like go to the microcontroller or manipulate the stuff on the screen. Yeah, mute light would be awesome. I need to look into OBS WebSockets. I looked into OBS plugins, I think they call them, which are like Python code that you can get to run when hotkeys are pressed. I didn't get it. I think I got it hooked up correctly, but I couldn't figure out how to see the output from it. So like it was very difficult to write the script because it like you're running it in the dark. I couldn't really tell what it was doing or if it was doing what I wanted, and I ended up giving up and going with a different route. But the WebSockets, I suspect, might be easier to just like interactively build and troubleshoot. So I am interested to try that out as well. Get into the WebSocket OBS stuff. Okay, let's see. Is this from this channel? Yeah, it is. All right. So yeah, that'll be the plan. I'll drop that in the weeds for this week. C Grover, thank you for the testing and making the issue and figuring all this out anyway. Honestly, right? Because like I would have never probably understood to check the data sheet and figure out the size difference or the speed difference and all that. So thank you so much for all the research and testing out the other devices. Definitely appreciate it. NearDoc, thank you for all the help and everything that you do and the WebSockets and the Circuit Playground and all of that stuff. Amazing stuff as always. I'll probably be back at some point before Friday. Probably pop on at some point, maybe tomorrow if I come back and work on this stuff tomorrow. I'm not certain though. I don't know exactly what all I'm doing tomorrow. Probably at least one night this week though. Before Friday, I'll probably pop on the stream, and so you can follow me on Twitch if you want notifications for that. Friday, I should be back for deep dive. I still haven't talked to Scott to figure out the full like plan of what's happening and when for that. So as far as I know, Friday should still be me on deep dive. Maybe both of us or something. So yeah, thank you again to everybody watching. Dexter was around earlier. If you're still here, thanks for hanging out. Who else do we have today? Do we have anybody? Seagrover, NearDoc, Dexter. I think that may be the gang we had, at least in the Discord chat, if I recall right. Johnny. Or is that's from last night? Oh, last night? No, that's not last night. Johnny. Okay, yeah, Johnny was around. Thank you to Johnny as well for hanging out. And yeah, thank you to all of you, and I will catch you all next time.